14 new things that had to be banned on cruises in 2025. So, you're packing for your cruise. Sunscreen? Check. Swimsuit? Check. Giant inflatable flamingo? Hold up. Before you even zip that suitcase shut, you need to know something important. The rules have changed. Cruise lines are cracking down harder than ever in 2025, and people are getting stopped at security, or worse, denied boarding, all because of things they didn't even know were banned. That's why in this video, I'm revealing 14 cruise items that are now officially banned. And some of these might surprise you. Whether it's your first cruise or your 50th, these are real cruise tips you'll want to know if you want to stay out of trouble and onboard the ship. Stick around till the end, because the last banned item is honestly so ridiculous, I had to double-check if it was real. Let's jump into it. Number 1. Multiplug outlets and surge protectors. Now this one catches a lot of people off guard, especially if you're used to charging 5 things at once back at home. You'd think a surge protector would be helpful, right? I mean, we're in the age of smartphones, smartwatches, smart toothbrushes. Everything needs a plug. But cruise lines in 2025 have made it crystal clear. Multi-plug outlets and surge protectors are banned. Not just frowned upon, banned. Why? Because they're a serious fire risk on board a ship where even a small spark can turn into a big emergency at sea. Instead, most cruise lines will allow non-surge USB-only charging hubs, but even then, it has to be cruise-approved. So don't risk packing your old power board from home. One passenger on Reddit shared how their surge protector was confiscated at check-in, and it wasn't returned at the end of the cruise. Moral of the story? If you're traveling with gadgets, do your research and stick to cruise-safe charging gear. Or, better yet, unplug for once, you're on vacation. Number 2. Heating pads and electric blankets. Yes, even your cozy creature comforts are under scrutiny. As relaxing as it sounds to kick back in your cabin with a warm electric blanket or heating pad after a long shore excursion, these items are flat-out banned on most cruise lines in 2025. The reason? Same as before. Fire risk. Cruise ships are very strict about onboard electronics that generate heat. So while it might feel harmless to you, to them it's like bringing a toaster into a floating hotel. One poor guest actually brought a heating pad for back pain relief. It was brand new, never used, and it still got confiscated. The crew told them politely, if it plugs in and warms up, it stays on land. So if you're someone who needs heat therapy, pack alternatives like disposable heat patches or check with your cruise line in advance. Because nothing ruins a relaxing getaway like having your belongings seized on embarkation day. Number 3. Aerosol disinfectant sprays. You'd think in a post-pandemic world, cruise lines would be handing out cans of disinfectant like souvenirs, but nope. If you try packing that trusty can of Lysol in your luggage, chances are it's getting tossed faster than yesterday's buffet shrimp. Aerosol sprays are now officially banned on many major cruise lines in 2025, including Carnival and Royal Caribbean. Why? Those little cans pack a punch, not just with bacteria, but with flammable propellants. And flammable plus cruise ship equals not a vibe. The rules say if it comes in a pressurized can, it's out. So even though it might be part of your regular travel cleaning routine, the crew won't be impressed. In fact, they've started advising guests to bring disinfectant wipes instead. Same cleaning power, zero explosion risk. And don't think you'll sneak it through by stashing it in your checked bag. Cruise security knows what they're looking for. One guest had their entire suitcase flagged for suspicious bulging, and it turned out to be a family-sized can of spray cleaner. Not exactly worth the holdup at embarkation. So yeah, bring the sanitizer wipes, leave the aerosols at home, and save yourself from being that person at security. Number 4. Handheld fans in certain venues. This one is weirdly specific, and also totally real. Handheld fans, yep, the little battery-powered ones you get for festivals or hot days at the beach, are banned in nightclubs and indoor dance floors on some cruise ships this year. Sounds random, right? But it turns out, these things have become a bit of a safety issue. In recent months, Carnival and a few others have quietly added this to their no-go list. Why? Because people were waving them around on packed dance floors like lightsabers. Add loud music, dim lighting, and maybe a few piña coladas. And boom, you've got people getting smacked in the face by a spinning plastic blade. They're still allowed in outdoor areas or in your cabin, but don't be surprised if security asks you to leave it behind before heading into the club. A few cruise forums even had guests sharing how their fan was confiscated mid-party. So if you're planning to dance the night away, cool down the old-fashioned way. Grab a cocktail, find a shady spot, or let the sea breeze do its thing. The fan can stay in the drawer. Number 5. Drying clothes on balcony railings. This one gets more people in trouble than you'd expect. Because honestly, it feels like common sense. You've got a private balcony, the sun is shining, and your swimsuit's still soggy from the pool. So what do? Drape it over the railing, right? Wrong. Drying clothes on your balcony is strictly banned. Cruise lines aren't just being fussy, it's about safety, liability, and the ship's appearance. That ocean breeze? It's stronger than you think. One gust and suddenly your bikini bottoms are flying off the side like a pirate flag. Not only does that create litter in the ocean, big environmental no-no, but loose items can actually end up on lower decks, or worse, overboard. Some cruise lines even issue written warnings for this now. Guests have posted pictures of drying prohibited notices taped to their doors after getting caught by staff or security cameras. Yes, they're watching. So what should you do instead? Use the retractable clothesline in your shower, or pack a foldable drying rack that sits neatly inside your cabin. Trust me, your neighbors will thank you for not launching your laundry into international waters. Number 6. Gambling outside designated casino areas. Here's one you probably didn't expect, because it sounds oddly specific and also kind of fun. But cruise lines are drawing the line on gambling anywhere outside their onboard casinos. Yep, even a harmless game of cards at the bar can get flagged if there's money involved. And yes, that includes a friendly poker game at your dining table or throwing down a few coins on a slot app in your cabin. If it's not in the official casino or licensed tournament area, it's technically a violation. Cruise ships are heavily regulated when it comes to gaming laws, and they don't want any gray zones. In fact, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and others have started actively monitoring this. Some guests even report being politely told to put the chips away after pulling out a pack of cards and betting drinks in public spaces. And don't think your smartphone casino games are safe either. If you're using real money and the ship catches on, especially over the ship's Wi-Fi, they could restrict access. Bottom line, keep the gambling where it belongs, in the casino. And if you're feeling lucky, maybe stick to the slots instead of starting a blackjack tournament on Deck 5. Number 7. Drones. This one's a heartbreaker for content creators and hobby flyers alike. Whether you're dreaming of capturing stunning aerial shots of your ship pulling out of port, or just want that viral beach flyover, forget it. Drones are officially banned from cruise ships. Cruise lines made the call due to a mix of privacy issues, safety concerns, and local port regulations. Think about it. You've got thousands of passengers sunbathing, kids running around, and a flying robot with spinning blades zipping through the air? Yeah, disaster waiting to happen. Even if you don't fly it on board, many ports of call also restrict drone use without permits. And trust us, if you try to sneak one on board, you might get pulled aside at embarkation, or worse, have it held until the end of the cruise. One Reddit user said they were surprised when their drone triggered a secondary screening. They didn't even realize it was a banned item. Spoiler alert, they didn't get it back until disembarkation. So unless you've got special permission, which is rare, leave the drone at home. The ship's upper deck views are already unbeatable. No propellers needed. Number 8. Wi-Fi hotspots, routers, and satellite dishes. Yes, believe it or not, people actually try bringing their own satellite gear on board to dodge the painfully slow and often overpriced cruise ship internet. But as of 2025, this kind of DIY connectivity is a big no-no. Cruise lines have banned personal Wi-Fi hotspots, routers, and portable satellite devices because they can interfere with the ship's own communication systems. It's not just inconvenient, it can actually mess with navigation or emergency signals. Some guests think they're being clever by packing their own tech to avoid the $18 a day Wi-Fi fee, but what they don't realize is these devices often cause interference, especially when multiple passengers try the same trick. That's why cruise lines are scanning for unauthorized network signals more than ever this year. And if you think you'll hide it in your cabin and use it just a little, think again. There are stories from guests who had ship security knock on their door because the signal was showing up on the ship's internal tech monitors. Bottom line, if you're going on a cruise, embrace the digital detox or stick to the ship's official Wi-Fi packages. Your Instagram stories can wait, or at least uploads slower like the rest of us. Number 9. Bluetooth speakers. Look, we all love a good playlist, especially one that screams vacation mode. But if you were planning to blast tunes on your balcony or become the self-appointed DJ by the pool, you're going to want to hit pause. Bluetooth speakers are now banned on many cruise lines, or at the very least restricted to cabin use only, and even that's pushing it. Why? Because as it turns out, not everyone wants to hear your music. Some people want to nap in a deck chair without the bass thumping next door. Others are trying to read, relax, or just exist without being dragged into your party vibe. Cruise forums are full of stories where guests had speakers taken away mid-cruise, not because they were blasting death metal, but because volume rules on deck are getting stricter than ever. Cruise lines are focusing hard on creating a peaceful atmosphere. Think more spa-like serenity, less spring break chaos. If you really need music, bring headphones, preferably noise-canceling ones, so you can't hear your neighbor complain about the last guy who didn't. Number 10. Large inflatables. Ah, yes, the oversized unicorn float, or the glittery pizza raft, or the 6-foot-wide flamingo with a built-in cup holder and Bluetooth speaker dock, which, by the way, would get you banned twice. As fun as they are for Instagram, large inflatables are completely banned from cruise ship pools and decks in 2025. And no, this isn't some new rule made up to ruin your fun. It's because they're just too big, too bulky, and honestly, too chaotic for the limited space on board. Cruise lines say they block the lifeguard's view, clutter the water, and make it harder for other guests to enjoy the pool. And let's be honest, when you're trying to take a relaxing dip and someone floats past on a 6-foot donut, it kind of kills the mood. One family tried to sneak theirs on board by claiming it was for a beach excursion. Security let it through but warned them it couldn't be used anywhere on the ship. And even that came with a please deflate immediately request. So, if you're tempted to pack a giant inflatable for your next cruise, save it for the backyard pool or the hotel before embarkation. On the ship, it's a no-float zone. Trust me, the memories and photos will be just as fun without it, and you won't be that person getting their flamingo flagged by security. Number 11. Smart luggage with non-removable batteries. Now this one trips up even seasoned travelers because smart luggage feels, well, smart. It's sleek, it charges your devices, it has built-in GPS. What's not to love? Here's the catch. If your smart bag has a non-removable lithium battery, it's not getting on the ship. End of story. Cruise lines in 2025 have made it clear. Any battery that can't be detached poses a fire risk. These batteries have been known to overheat and even catch fire, which is the last thing anyone wants at sea. So, unless your suitcase clearly states the battery can be removed and shown during screening, security might reject your bag at the port. There are passengers who've had to leave expensive luggage behind or transfer everything into a loaner duffel bag just to get on board. Not exactly the relaxing start to a holiday they were hoping for. So, before you roll up to the cruise terminal looking tech-savvy, double-check your bag. If it's got a battery, make sure it comes out easily. Or switch to something simpler. Sometimes, old-school zippers beat futuristic fire hazards. Number 12. Homemade food items. This one's a little bittersweet, especially for all the foodies out there. Maybe you're planning to bring Aunt Linda's famous banana bread or a container of your favorite pasta salad for the trip. It's comforting, it's thoughtful, and it's not allowed. Homemade food items are banned on cruise ships in 2025, and yes, even the non-perishable ones. The reason? It all comes down to food safety regulations. Cruise ships have to meet strict health and hygiene standards. And when you bring outside food on board, there's no way for the crew to verify how it was prepared or stored. That opens the door to contamination, spoilage, or worse. Even sealed meals from home are at risk of being confiscated. One guest tried to board with a cooler full of pre-cooked chicken for meal prepping during the cruise, and security treated it like they were smuggling an exotic fruit. The good news is, cruise food is already included, and there's plenty of it. So instead of packing snacks from home, get ready to explore the ship's buffet, main dining room, and all the free food options you never even knew were included in your fare. Plus, let's be honest, isn't trying new food half the fun of cruising? Before we get to the last 2 banned items, and trust me, they're good ones, do me a quick favor. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a like and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel keep sailing strong. And if you've made it this far into the list, Drop a quick cruise for you in the comments so I can personally thank you for sticking around. All right, let's finish this off with 2 more banned items. Number 13, Hoverboards and Healies. Let's just get straight to it. Hoverboards and Healies are banned on cruise ships, completely. No debate, no, but it's for my kid, no, I'm a careful rider. They're out, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. You've got narrow hallways, moving floors, and thousands of people trying to get from the buffet to bingo without being run over by someone zipping past on wheels. Hoverboards were once the hottest tech toy, until they started, catching fire. And Healies? The sneaker roller skate hybrids may look fun, but on a cruise ship, they're a walking lawsuit waiting to happen. Cruise lines say it's all about passenger safety and fire prevention. There's just no safe place on board for fast-moving, battery-powered wheels. Even storing them in your cabin is a no-go, so if your kid's planning to roll into the dining room in Healies, or you were hoping to glide through the atrium like a sci-fi hero, it's time to pivot. Literally. Leave the wheels at home and stick to good old-fashioned walking. It's safer, and honestly, the elevator wait times will give you more than enough of a leg workout. Number 14. Paper pineapples. Yep, you read that right, paper. Pineapples are banned. And not because cruise lines have something against tropical decor, it's what they represent that's the issue. Over the past few years, paper pineapples, especially when displayed upside down on cruise cabin doors, have become associated with, let's just say, certain adult social signals. We won't go into the full details here, this is still a cruise tips video after all, but let's just say the crew knows exactly what it means, and they're not having it. In 2025, several major cruise lines quietly updated their policies to say decor that can be seen as suggestive or disruptive isn't allowed. And guess what's at the top of that list? That innocent-looking fruit. Some guests even reported getting calls from guest services or finding the pineapple removed from their door by staff. So even if you're not in the know, it can still lead to some seriously awkward misunderstandings. Bottom line? If you want to decorate your cabin, go for something safe. Beach scenes, cruise quotes, maybe a picture of a seagull wearing sunglasses. But unless you want people knocking on your door with the wrong expectations, leave the pineapples at home.